You're with Q&A. The panel this week is Dr. Raymond Miller from Auckland University. Welcome along. Former National Party President Michelle Boag, welcome back to you. And Mike Williams, Labor President. First of all, start with you, Mike. A missed opportunity, or has the government got it right with the alcohol reform?
Actually, the most interesting bit was why is this a conscience vote? And I was just trying to think. Well, I think probably the split age is the best compromise available at the moment. But I do think the Minister left open the possibility of raising the excise tax, which internationally is the only thing that works.
Why not now then? Why not raise the tax now?
Well, this is an interesting question. If I could just say that I think a majority of the public will support raising the age for alcohol consumption. I think the Minister is right that there'll probably be a split vote in Parliament on this issue. But what they've done is they've taken age as a kind of cure-all for a whole variety of things. And I don't think it's actually that important, whether it be 18 or 20. The Law Commission came out with what they called an integrated package of recommendations, including increasing the price of alcohol, and they addressed the commercialisation of alcohol. Now, this is a big issue. We know how powerful the alcohol lobby is, and of course politicians are rather loath to get into a fight on this. But, you know, when you think about small children as they're growing up in New Zealand, see a culture where alcohol is associated with masculinity, it's associated with adulthood, and I think the problems start much, much earlier. So I think sponsorship, marketing, advertising, these are all important issues that have not been addressed in this legislation.
Michelle, she kept comparing it to cigarettes and saying cigarettes do endless harm, alcohol is only harm to a small portion of people, 15% of people.
Which is true.
Having said that, alcohol and the marketing of alcohol has changed dramatically in the last few years. With things like RTDs, the availability in supermarkets and so forth. Cigarettes really hasn't changed that much since Adam was a cowboy.
No, except that the price keeps going up. But I think the issue here is that our problems with alcohol are behavioural. And the observation's often been made that in other countries, Italy and France, where they grow up with a much more mature attitude to alcohol in a family setting, they simply don't have these binge drinking issues. Now, I'm now living in the city. I go for walks early in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning. I see lots of adults, and they are young adults, but they're not kids. These are people generally in their 20s. Pouring out of bars, 6 o'clock in the morning, heading into the McDonald's for a food fix. And they are the ones that are noisy, that are loud, that are disruptive, that cause problems to the police. Most of those people are well over 20. They've been drinking all night, which means they can afford it. God knows what else they've been doing in there, but I'll bet it isn't only alcohol they've been taking. But it doesn't matter what you do legislatively, you're not going to change that.
Having said that, with the cigarettes,
and advertising isn't going to change it.
Cigarettes, they're going to whack them up to $20 a packet within the next couple of years. The Law Commission is dead clear about this. They say whack it up by 50% the price of booze, and it's going to absolutely help the problem.
But the problem you see is that might be a disincentive to that small group that abuse alcohol, means they won't be able to have as much of it. But the vast majority of people, as Judith Collins said, it's simply penalising them for the sake of the few that abuse.
But Mike, is this going to be any disincentive to anybody, the split age?
No, I don't think it's going to make a lot of difference. And there's one thing that Michelle said. I mean, I was president of the Labor Party for 9 years, and people talked about the powerful booze industry. I was never lobbied by the alcohol industry.
Nor given money.
Nor given money.
No.
Crates of booze, though, I hear, Mike.
No. never a crate of booze. I would have remembered that. But I do think that we will eventually be driven down the route of a higher price on alcohol.
Are we being a little bit naive with the split age thing here? Because basically the stick here is that if you're 18, you can't buy it. You can go and have it at a bar, have a drink. Plenty of 18-year-olds are going to know 20-year-olds, slip them some money, say, go buy me the booze.
Yeah.
What have you sold?
I think this is what's going to happen. I think, you know, someone goes to a supermarket as a 20-year-old, gets the booze and passes it on to others. I'm sure that's going to happen. I mean, there's a lot of ingenuity when it comes to trying to get hold of alcohol, and I just think this is a rather unnecessary, really, law reform, and I do think there are other things that have been missed, such as pricing and availability.
The availability side of it, then you talk about powerful groups, then you're taking on supermarkets.
No, I think the issue around availability is the corner dairies where you can get this stuff at all hours of the day and night.
South Auckland, it's dreadful. But I do think there should be some limits on marketing. Where I come from in West Auckland, there's no alcohol in supermarkets, and I went into a supermarket in Grey Lynn a couple of weeks ago, and I was staggered to find out you could not enter the supermarket without going past great arrays of bottles of wine. And I think that's pushing it a bit hard. I think there should be some control on displays, as they're doing with cigarettes, and on marketing.
Split age, it looks fairly tight politically. What are you hearing as to which way this is likely to go?
I think that most people will go for the compromise because it is regarded as middle of the road. You can go into a bar and drink if you're 18, but you can only purchase when you're 20. And as Ray says, it's probably not going to make an awful lot of difference, but it is a statement they're making.
That's right, and it looks as though they're doing something.
Yep.
In fact, they're not, as Raymond pointed out. They're really not doing anything, but it looks as though you're doing something.
All right, we'll talk again.